The blind stares of a million pairs of eyes, looking hard but won't realize that they will never see the P.
101.7 The Truth. It's your girl Jazz Tyler Digi Meech. We are live and direct at the American Family Insurance Studio in the heart of beautiful downtown Milwaukee. Happy Tuesday.
What's the word, Truth Nation?
What's the word, Meech?
You know, Tuesday.
It's Tuesday, Taco Tuesday.
I forgot to have tacos.
You forgot that? It ain't too late. It's only 4 o'clock.
Yeah.
Go grab some tacos. Shout out to all the listeners. Please make sure you like and subscribe to our YouTube channel, 101.7 The Truth. Tap in. Today is a special day. We have some special guests coming up. Mike Shane, a.k.a. Lil Mike Hawthorne, a.k.a. Lil MH, as well as H1 Hook, who are some very incredible artists from the city of Milwaukee. Today is also the birthday of Tupac Amaru Shakur. Happy birthday, Pac. Shout out to all of my fellow board members at the Tupac Amaru Shakur Foundation. Peace and love to my sister Set, the entire Shakur family, Mopreme. Rest peacefully, Afeni, Matulu, and Tupac. We are currently doing the work in the community, and we are looking for donations. So if you are willing to donate to Tupac's foundation, you could text Tupac to 44321. Again, that's Tupac to 44321. With that being said, yesterday we had some youth on the station.
Yeah.
And although we were talking about music and we were able to play their music, they had some very, very incredible stories and some things that they mentioned when it came to the relationships that their generation has with adults as far as support and how they feel that they're looked at. And that's something that I could not bypass. We didn't have enough time to dig into it yesterday, but I want to touch on it today because to me it was a cry for help. And shout out to Edwin Lee and Darius Ashford, 2 students from Nose for Nose at Dr. Howard Fuller Collegiate Academy.
Yeah, great young men yesterday.
Man, they did an amazing job. And they had some great analogies, but one of the things that stuck out to me the most was that they feel like no matter what they do, no matter how much they separate themselves from the youth who are not on the right path, they still feel as if adults in society will continue to group them with those youth instead of separating them and seeing them for who they are. Mm-hmm. And the analogy he had was, it's like sitting in a classroom and everybody in the front row got their hands up to answer the question, and they're in the back with their hands up. But because everybody in the front row has the wrong answer, they no longer are willing to ask another student who's all the way in the back. So it's almost like they just get bunched in automatically, assume that they don't know the answer either. And to that point, I agree.
Yeah.
You know?
I mean, it's basically see one YN, see them all.
Exactly.
You know what I mean? That's basically the analogy he gave. Like, regardless of performance, regardless of, you know, anything else that may have be going on in the classroom, they basically saying, as soon as one person get the wrong answer, everybody got the wrong answer.
Exactly.
I don't want to hear from nobody. This person acting crazy, all y'all gonna act crazy.
Yep. And the crazy thing about it is, well, let me ask you this, Mish. Do you agree? Do you think that us as adults, that we have a habit of grouping all of the youth together collectively based off of their behavior?
I mean, yeah. You know, I'm guilty of it. You know, stereotyping YNs as soon as you see them, regardless of where they at. Anything that you might presumably think of is you. Once you see you see a YN, you think YN.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? That's what you calling them. You know what I mean? It usually be a kid or a young teen or youth, but you know, you pretty much bunching them into the YN group.
Yeah, and it's crazy because you asked a very important question yesterday that I think a lot of adults don't ask children, and that was if they considered themselves as YNs. Mm-hmm. And the way no. Exactly, and the way they broke it down was incredible. Like, he was saying that he purposely don't wear the attire that the YNs wear because he does not want to be classified as a YN. And that speaks volumes on both sides. Because he's conscious enough to make an executive decision and say, I know that I am a target if I dress this way, so I don't want to dress this way. The flip side of that is every young man that dressed like that is not a YN, but it's a part of their culture, the new generation, right? It's the same as stereotyping. Like back in the day when we used to go to the club on Water Street and they say, you can't get in if you got a white tee and baggy pants. That don't mean everybody is out here hustling or doing whatever. You know what I mean?
It's part of the culture.
It's part of the culture. So to hear them speak about that was disheartening to me, because I can only imagine how many other youth feel that way. And I know last week we had a conversation about how they wear, the adults in society tease them about, and I'm guilty of it.
That's what I said.
90 degrees, they got on hoodies and masks.
I mean, when he said that, that's the first thing I thought of. You know what I mean? Like, oh man, how many times I done seen, all black hoodie, black mask, group 4 or 5 kids.
Yep.
Bus stop or just roaming, neighborhoods or
with that attire on.
Yeah, I mean, or sitting at Sherman Park or any park, you just get to thinking like, man, look,
he own one, right?
they own one.
They own one,
You know
and
what I mean?
50% of them probably is doing it because they got into something and they don't want to be seen. But then there's the other 50% who we talked about this. I feel like is just hiding from the world, like they don't want to be seen. Not just physically, but internally. It's like they're trying to hide themselves. And that's confidence. That's dealing with judgment, with everything. If you adapt an attitude based off of your environment. So if you feel that everywhere you go, the response you get from people, adults, when you walk past is that they're afraid of you, then at some point you're going to rebel against trying to make them understand why they need not to, and you just gonna not care.
Yeah.
Which is, again, is very unfortunate. Me, when I see them, I don't be scared. Now, if they speeding and doing certain stuff, I be kind of, a little cautious. But my initial instincts when I see a young black man, no matter what he has, is not fear. It's more so empathy, like what is going on with them to make them feel like they have to dress this way or act this way or think this way. And I feel like we are responsible.
Yeah. I mean, you think about what they said, and then you could kind of be on their side. But then let's hear from a YN that's really on the stuff they said YNs be on, and see how he feel and why he's covering his identity or walking around in 100-degree weather, you know what I mean, with layers of clothes on.
Exactly.
Let's just hear, we have to hear both sides, you know what I mean? It's disheartening to hear their side, you know what I mean? Because they could tell you that they're not on that.
Exactly.
You know what I mean? But let's see the other side
of it.
Because I done talked to young men that have been totally 100% with the streets.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Absolutely.
And it's almost the same thing. I don't want nobody to see me, bro.
Yeah.
Big bro, this and that. I ain't got nowhere to go.
Yes.
You know what I mean? It be, stuff like that.
And they out here, like, let's say that we have a youth that dresses that way and they aren't into anything, right? And they don't have anywhere to go. They still have to protect themselves because they are lit at this point. Just walking around.
Yeah.
They don't have to necessarily be involved in anything. It's just the fact that other young men out there who see them out and about may want to try them. You know what I mean? So it's all survival, but who's at fault? Is it the parents? Is it the community? Is it society overall? I just feel like we play a huge part, and I get so frustrated when I hear youth like Edwin and Darius, who I know are great kids, but even if they were into trouble, the fact that they feel this way, like no matter what I do, it's almost like giving up. No matter what I do, y'all gonna view me a certain way, and there's nothing I can do about it. So the only thing I can do, if I make music, instead of putting my hands on somebody, y'all got something to say about that.
Yeah.
If I go play basketball, instead of being in the streets, but I still dress this way, y'all gonna have something to say about that. So it's almost like a lose-lose situation.
It's been a lose-lose situation. Even when we grew up, like, everybody could be a testament of that, like based on how we dress, the hip-hop culture.
Yes.
Our hair.
Yep.
You know what I mean? wearing braids.
Yes,
You know
and
what
that
I
was a
mean?
big thing back then.
Yeah. So I mean, like, just to be a black man wearing braids,
Yep.
I could be dressed. It don't matter how I'm dressed.
It's just the fact you got braids.
It's the fact that I got braids.
And you're gonna automatically be judged and stereotyped.
And I've been judged and stereotyped, but nobody really has said, "Oh, well, I think you this type of person." But it's just, sometimes you don't get the job.
Yeah.
Sometimes you don't.
Yes.
You don't get the look. You know what I mean?
Yep.
Sometimes police will pull you over.
Yep.
You know what I mean? Just to see what's going on, and sometimes it's been unfortunate. Waste your time. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Sometimes it escalated to bigger situations, like we have seen many times before in other states and stuff like that, even this own state.
Yes.
To where you're being judged. Quick story. When we was at Tech, we back in high school, when I was in high school at Tech, we had like a hoodie ban.
Yeah.
You know what I mean, at school, and I understood it, but it was still like, we are purchasing these hoodies from the school. We can't wear it at school.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like, it didn't make sense.
Yeah.
And I see in the chat that Marty said fashion and also the world bought the ski mask when COVID hit. So
Facts.
It's like it was something that was adapted.
Yes.
Based on something else.
And they personalized it.
Yeah.
So the world is responsible for dishing this out as it always has been. Mm-hmm. It's always been this way since forever, And again, even with women, because I have tattoos, I get prejudged all the time too. Mm-hmm. But for the young black men out there, again, and I have a son, as a mother of a 19-year-old young black man, like my son just went and bought his first car, and I'm supposed to be happy. But I was scared.
That's what I was going to say. And I'm glad you said scared, because I was going to ask you that, because it's like, how scared are you for your son?
I'm scared.
Not just because you bought him a car.
Yeah. I'm scared because you don't have to be into anything. All you have to do is just be black. And he has locks. You know what I'm saying? So I'm instantly like, don't ride around like this. If they pull you over, put your hands on a car. Because they don't even need a reason. You could be doing everything right, and something still can happen. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? Or people driving recklessly, or other young men who just want to test somebody because of what they trying to prove themselves to someone else. Like, it's a very fearful feeling, and it shouldn't be that way. Mm-hmm. It should not be that way.
Let's talk about that at the top of the hour. Not the top of the hour, we'll come back from break.
Absolutely. So I want to pose a question to the listeners in the chat as well. What obstacles have young people?
Eisenberg, Riley, and Zimmerman and the New Pitts Mortuary. Our silver sponsors, Mr. B's Privilege Lounge and Dog City, along with Running Rebels and Griffin CDL Institute. Limited vendor spaces available. If you'd like to support or make a donation, email homerblownfoundation@gmail.com or call 414-248-4954.
101.7 The Truth. It's your girl Jazz Tyler Digi Meech. We are live and direct in beautiful 3rd Street Market Hall. Happy Tuesday, Milwaukee. Anybody, everywhere. It's Tuesday. Taco Tuesday. Taco Tuesday. Shout out to the chat. But Bar said, y'all know y'all can use AutoPay to pay bills. That is hilarious. That is hilarious. Maybe we need to let the corporate office know.
It bills every day up in here. You know?
So listen, June 16th, today is Tupac Amaru Shakur birthday. Anybody who knows me knows that is someone I looked up to growing up, someone I feel like was the last real leader that we had as a youth. And I'm also a board member for his foundation. Shout out to the entire Shakur family. And the conversation that we're having today derives from a clip that I seen in 1994 where Pac was talking to Ed Gordon. Remind you, during this time, he was only 24 years old. Mm-hmm. So a lot of people tend to forget that during that time, Tupac was still a youth, and he was speaking for the youth.
That's what I was going to say. Like, we way older than Pac was.
Exactly.
I feel like I ain't done half the stuff he did.
Way older. And the question that we're posing today is, how do you succeed when your environment isn't set up for success? So we want to run a back and play this clip so that we can analyze how in 1994, all the way to 2026, we're still dealing with the same situations. Let's run it back. We ain't asking no questions. We're not even scared. We just doing what the adults, and at this time, they not even really adults. They like 17, 18, 19. They were the YNs at that time. But they're telling us to get out of the way. No matter what situations they got going on, it didn't affect those around them. It didn't affect the women, the elderly, and the children. We're in an environment where that no longer exists. And at some point, again, I feel like we have to take accountability for that. Even our generation. I think we was talking about that when Genesis was on here. Even our generation, we have to take accountability. We're so focused on our careers that we didn't get a chance to reach back. Now we're reaching back. But in our 20s, we didn't have the time. We were trying to get ourselves together. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. I think it's just way more information out here, like for the youth to access, to know what's going on with the adulthood, you know.
So they embrace it to a certain degree. Everything you see with the youth is putting them in these positions to where they appear to be
like going against their parents
and living a life that they don't necessarily have no business living. We want to hear from you. Shout out to all the listeners in the chat. We are talking, how do you succeed when your environment isn't set up for success? 833-212-1017. We got to go to commercial break. Do not touch that dial. 101.7 The Truth.
Doctors Without Borders is delivering life-saving medical care where it's needed most in communities around the world. From bandaging war-wounded patients in Sudan to providing clean drinking water in Haiti, we're in more than 70 countries worldwide, bringing patients from sick to recovering, from emergency to aid, from crisis to care. This life-saving care is made possible by a global movement of supporters like you. Thank you.
All of them, you can't tell who from who because they all look the same.
Yeah.
It's really smart. If we talking defense mechanism, I'm not saying I agree with it, but I understand.
I mean, I'll
the
be saying
survival
that you
tactic.
don't know what they're planning at the end of the day.
You don't. You don't.
You know, when it was 100 Black Panther affiliates.
Yeah.
You know, it was power to the people.
Yeah.
You know, you see 100 all Black YNs.
Yeah.
They finna do
they
finna do a snatch and run.
They finna do a snatch and run. But again, it goes back to the point of the environment not being set up for them to succeed. I wholeheartedly am tired of adults not taking accountability because half of them are just now approaching the age where they can work for themselves and provide for themselves, right? Mm-hmm. They are not responsible for laws. They are not responsible for building up infrastructure.
Alpha, low self-esteem, you know, like there was a period where our forefathers were not able to even walk on the same streets as individuals who are white. And you can't tell me that they weren't suffering from low self-esteem when you couldn't even look at a white person in the eye.
But they were given the tools.
I can understand completely.
They were given the tools. The difference is they were given the tools to be to learn. They had certain fathers in the house, a certain structure. There is no structure.
I don't disagree with you at all, ma'am.
Yeah.
I just disagree with the idea that not calling a spade is going to help. These kids, many of them are full-fledged criminals.
Well, we said that though. We said
they're doing some of the worst stuff.
We said that. We said 50% of them have low self-esteem and are hiding, and the other 50% are in survivor mode doing activities where they can't be seen.
I think you hit it right on the head when you said the culture. Because you can have great parents, you can have a great upbringing in the culture of your peers.
Almost a little chilly in the shade. Now, let's get a read on the inside of your car. It is hot. You've only been parked a short time and it's already 99 degrees in there. Let's not leave children in the back seat while running errands. It only takes a few minutes for their body temperatures to rise, and that could be fatal.
Cars get hot, fast, and can be deadly. Never leave a child in a car. A message from NHTSA and the Ad Council.
Babes, what are you doing?
What? I'm just mowing the lawn.
No, it's blazing hot and dry out here. Don't you remember? Smokey Bear says,
avoid using power equipment when it's windy or dry.
Where'd you learn this?
Oh, it's on
SmokeyBear.com with many other wildfire prevention tips.
Right. Thanks, honey bear.
'Cause remember, only you can prevent wildfires.
Brought to you by the USDA Forest Service, your state forester, and the Ad Council.
When a warrior faces adversity, he fights through it.
See, retirement is the long game. We gotta make moves and make them early. Set up goals. Don't worry about a setback. Just save up and stack up to reach them. Let's put ourselves in the right position. Pre-game to greater things.
Start building your retirement plan at thisispretirement.org. Brought to you by AARP and the Ad Council.
For 75 years, the Muscular Dystrophy Association's voices have thundered through the halls of Congress.
For 75 years, we've willed the impossible into existence.
For 75 years, the MDA community has pushed the science,
shifted the narrative, and established the field of neuromuscular medicine.
And until that day, when this is all a thing of the past,
you couldn't stop us if you tried.
Join us and celebrate 75 years of breakthroughs at MDA75.org.
You can't buy a best friend.
Pretty woman, oh, it's almost time to go. Ooh, and I got a lot of options, baby. Oh yeah, yeah. So don't be moving slow. Yeah. Pretty woman, oh yeah, I need you for sure. Oh, yeah, I got a late night plan. Oh, yeah, and it's something you can't ignore. Oh, pretty woman. Oh, I'ma leave you wanting more. Hey, yeah, pretty woman. Oh, I want you the most. Pretty woman, I make them crazy, have them beat. Oh, popping out tonight with a pretty woman. I just need one night. Pretty woman, you such a vibe. Pretty woman, oh, you got me hypnotized. Pretty woman, mesmerized. Pretty woman, oh, pack it up, let's slide. Pretty woman, I know I can't deny. Pretty woman, oh.
101.7 The Truth. Shout out to MJ. That was an exclusive record, man. Fire. Can we get some bombs? Z, gotta drop some bombs for that joint right there. I love that joint, man. We had MJ in the building, E2 and Wavy Boy last week. For those who are not familiar, MJ is or was a part of the cast of Love and Hip Hop Miami. He's also related to opinionated people. We always talk about the negative, and we want to make sure we use our voices in our platform to highlight the positive. And although we live in a world where there's a lot going on, it's been that way since the beginning of time. Nothing has changed. It'll always be that way. But we have to consistently focus on the positive things. As much as I would like to address certain things, especially things that happen in the city of Milwaukee, for me, it's always important to make sure that, again, we speak on the positive side. Meech, we got a special guest in the building, man. The one and only Mike Shane. I'm gonna call you Mike Shane. I know I'm by Lil Mike, but I'm gonna respect you.
Yeah, muscles, everything. Talking about Lil Mike.
Or go to flysshf.org and ask for an application.
Talking about guns with others might not always feel comfortable, but it could save a life. Here's a way to start a conversation. Your family is going over to your neighbor's home for dinner for the first time. How would you ask if there are any unlocked guns in the home?
Hey, we're so excited for tonight. Before we come over, though, may I ask if there are any unlocked guns in your home?
Our guns are stored securely, locked in a safe that the kids can't access.
Awesome.
Learn how to have the conversation at agreetoagree.org. Brought to you by the Ad Council.
Wherever there's a need in our communities, there's a United Way. Improving lives so everyone can thrive. Where more people can gain access to health care and nutritious food for their tables. where more community members can benefit from financial education and get connected to local resources for housing support, and where children are given more chances to reach their full potential. Community is where we find our strength and where we share our
and want more, you know what I mean? So
Absolutely.
don't let it define you, you know.
Absolutely. We got a caller on the line. Key, are you there?
Hey, how y'all doing?
Good. Thank you so much for tapping in.
What's up?
What's up with you? Y'all listening to a lot of y'all comments, and in this day and time, a lot of kids are mimicking what they see their parents do.
Mm-hmm.
So just like in Pooh Shiesty case, when they robbed Gucci, man, his dad was with him.
That's a fact.
So he really didn't have a chance. That kid, he really didn't have a chance because his dad in the streets.
Mm-hmm.
And his dad, I think he's over 45. He still go by the name Mob Boss. So like in a lot of situations like that, a kid really don't have a chance because he's seeing what his daddy do.
Absolutely. Absolutely. I agree. We talked about that earlier too.
Visit adoptuskids.org to learn more. A message brought to you by Adopt US Kids, the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services, and the Ad Council.
I don't know what you did to me. Can't get you out my head.
101.7 The Truth. It's your girl Jazz Tyler Digi Meech. We got Mike Shane, Rap Draft in the building. Mike, they playing your song, man. What's
this?
This?
My single, Self. You
Yes,
know what I'm saying?
indeed.
I dropped this about 3 or 4 months ago. And basically is what it's about. It's like you working on yourself. It's okay to work on yourself. You know what I mean? We can't do this no more because I want to work on myself. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And it's some of the hardest things to do. You know, let go of those relationships, those friendships, or whatever.
Yes.
But sometimes you got to step back and work on yourself.
Absolutely.
So that's my single Self right there.
Absolutely. Well, again, thank y'all so much for joining us. For those who are just joining in, we have.
I make my singing videos and be like, no, maybe not this one. No, I'll be doing 30 minutes.
Yeah.
Redoing it. You know what I'm saying? So it's work into the content.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Everything is work.
Absolutely.
Ain't nothing overnight.
Absolutely. And to that point, which is a great point because I feel like society today always shows the finished product on social media. No one takes the time to show the process it took to get from A to Z.
Yeah.
Everything that you have to go through, like you mentioned, just to get to where you're going.
Exactly.
Right? I feel like we as a community, as a culture, have to start doing that more. We got to go to break. Do not touch that dial. We got Mike Shane and Rap Draft in the building. 101.7 The Truth.
Not completing high school is more of a social thing than it was an academic thing. Even though all these years have passed, I still had that longing to have my diploma.
At age 30, Carissa finished her high school diploma.
If you're even considering getting your high school diploma,
Mindtoday.org. That's loveyourmindtoday.org. See how much further you can go when you take care of your mental health.
For 250 years, our armed forces have bravely served America. Wounded Warrior Project honors that legacy by supporting post-9/11 service members and veterans like Anthony, a Marine who was injured by a roadside bomb in Afghanistan.
They carried me through my injuries, not just my physical, but my mental. And seeing other vets doing the same thing helped me tell myself, hey, you can do this.
Join us in honoring warriors at woundedwarriorproject.org/America.
This work might turn into a fiend. Go crack like Billie Jean. It's lit in my BED. You gon' think you had the best.
101.7 The Truth. It's your girl Jazz Tyler Digi Meech. We are live and direct. Milwaukee Juneteenth celebration is back, and 101.7 The Truth will be there all day long. Thank you to our Juneteenth partners: Educators Credit Union, Molson Coors, Tobacco Law.
I ain't one of them, baby. I'm him, and that's one thing for sure. Yeah. Pretty woman, oh, it's almost time to go. Ooh, and I got a lot of options, baby. Oh yeah, so don't be moving slow. Yeah. Pretty woman, oh yeah, I need you for sure. Oh yeah, I got a late night plan. Oh yeah, and it's something you can't ignore. Oh,
Tobacco Law, American Family Insurance, and Milwaukee College Prep for supporting the special community event. We'll see you at the Juneteenth Festival as we celebrate freedom, culture, education, and community together. Milwaukee, happy Tuesday. Thank y'all so much for tuning in. We had some special guests earlier. We have some special guests joining us as well. First and foremost, I just want to again say happy birthday, Tupac Shakur. Today is officially Tupac's birthday. Shout out to all of my fellow board members on the Tupac Amaru Shakur Foundation, as well as my sister Sexual Shakur and the entire Shakur family. Earlier, we played a clip with Pac talking to Ed Gordon about the environment and the state of the youth and things that they are given in order to make them successful. And we want to hear from you, 833-212-1017. Right now, we got some special guests in the building. Meech, who we got?
H1
Let's go. Listen.
What's up, my boy H1 the Hook. Wow. Producer Don.
Come on, man.
What's
Listen.
going on?
I don't even think they understand what's happening right
Don the
now.
jeweler.
Meech. I don't think they. First of all, welcome. It's good to see y'all.
Hey, Jazz.
I haven't seen y'all in it ain't been a decade, has it? No, it ain't been that long.
It's been moving around.
It's been like that. I've seen you. I haven't seen H1 in years.
Yeah, you be moving around, Jazz.
Man, I do. I'm home though. Welcome. I'm excited to have y'all here. I think that is very important, especially for our generation, because a lot of the people that we work with that's coming up, especially the youth, they don't really understand the culture, how it started and where it comes from.
Right.
But most importantly, I think it's important that we have people who were in the industry, are in the industry, that these kids look up to, who they can learn from. So welcome. Let's hop right into it. H1, what's the word?
Man, cooling, man. Working hard.
Yes,
trying to stay
indeed.
focused.
Yeah, you got a hook for Jazz.
Huh?
You got a hook for Jazz?
Me trying to get
I made a hook for Jazz.
Okay.
He did, yeah.
Back in the day.
Yep. And it's still on YouTube too.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah,
Cool.
That's probably the only song that's still on
We
there.
know what was
Actually,
going back then with our residuals and all
the
that.
facts.
How
We coulda
YouTube
made
being
some
monetized
money.
and everything. Now we ain't know about all that back then.
Right.
We could have made some money. So H1, for those who are not familiar, who are you? Where do you come from? And how did you get to where you currently are?
Well, I am H1 the Hook. You know what I mean? Like H1, my name stemmed from me playing basketball back in the day. My nickname was Handles. For everybody who know me from basketball or music. You know what I mean? Like, or the streets. But
he went to
he
went to that other South Side school.
I went to Tech High School.
Yeah, I know he went to the
I played ball.
Because your brother was at Bayview with me.
Yeah, my brother Terrell played at Bayview.
Yeah.
I went to Bayview.
Y'all stay over there.
We Bayview kids.
Team Red Cats, Don. You know what time it is.
Security in here. I'm gonna go down.
Yeah, I went to Tech, played basketball for Tech. You know what I mean? I kind of grew up with a big family. You know what I'm saying? Pops died early, so I had to kind of like take that big brother role and really start working and hustling and getting some money and all of that. So my hoop dreams kind of faded away. I kind of put that into my brother. You know what I'm saying? So But with the music, I always had a passion for it. My mom's was a choir director. I was growing up in the church, things like that. I used to always go to choir rehearsals, stuff like that. So music was in my DNA, it was in my blood.
Yes, it is.
So basically, I started rapping maybe in 2005, 6.
Yeah.
Started taking it serious, just rapping with my guys or whatever. Then I did a song with Baby Drew.
Hey, no.
It was called The Facts.
Shout out to
That was
Baby
your first
Drew,
song?
man. Right, he came out hot.
One of my first songs.
That's a great first song.
Man.
Yeah. And then I started linking up with my bro, Vault, Cash Ball.
Shout out to Miller, man. Yes, indeed.
My Miller boys, you know what I'm saying? We had started it, you know what I'm saying, making a little movement or whatever. We had a hit song called Show Up to Show Out.
Show up and show out.
It was like one of them city bangers, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
That's back when Needy and Rizzy and Jack It Down and you.
Yes.
And we had a big movement back then, so it was like.
I was in there too.
Absolutely.
Absolutely.
You was there, Meech. You was
Absolutely.
there.
I ain't Meech for nothing.
Absolutely.
How became Meech now?
Absolutely.
Everybody was there. It was like, you know what I mean? But that's where the foundation of the Jack music and like Milwaukee always had its own style.
Yeah.
Facts.
We always I wanted credit myself for like, and everybody, each one of y'all and everybody that was a part of that movement for, we lit a torch for Milwaukee. Like,
that's a fact.
Facts.
Like, it wasn't cool to be a rapper when we was rapping.
That's a fact.
It wasn't cool to be a rapper. It was like, we was going on stage. I mean, you couldn't, like how it's performances now, you couldn't pay a club to take a risk on a local artist.
No.
That's a fact.
You know what I'm saying? So we had our nights with Timbuktu.
Yep,
and
quarters, and
Quarters,
Stonefly. Yep.
Shout out to Monte Carlo. And,
Yep.
What was the spot on
Live on
43rd
North?
and Good Hope?
Live on North.
Oh, 43rd and Good Hope.
You talking about Nostalgias too?
Nostalgias, yeah. Oh, I
Yeah,
forgot about
Nostalgias.
Nostalgias.
Yeah, but shout out to Live on North though.
Yeah.
DJ Knowledge, he was one of the
Yes.
first people that really took
Broke records.
Yeah. Knowledge and New Styles really was like trying to break artists back then.
Yeah.
L Bug.
Absolutely.
Yeah,
A lot of DJs back then were trying to really break us into the into the industry.
Stretch for sure.
Yeah.
Stretch, yeah.
Yep.
So with that, that kind of gave me notoriety as far as music in the city or whatever. It was something I just wanted to keep. I kept wanting to do, and Vaughn them kind of was like in a space where they wanted to do more like some business stuff, like, you know what I'm saying, getting older, want to do more like it was business ventures or whatever, and that was cool. So, but that's still my brother to this day, Cash too.
Yeah.
And I linked up with Wavy.
Yeah.
And,
We just had them here last week, and shout out to Wavy Boy. Yeah.
Shout out to Wavy. I linked up with Wavy.
All y'all from Waco, right?
Yeah, we all from the same hood.
Well, no, he from Highland.
He from Highland,
but y'all from Waco.
We cousins.
Yeah,
It's like
I know.
Highland
Yeah,
Park, Waco.
Yeah,
Lavin Park.
Yeah.
Hillside. All that's like right there.
Yeah.
So all of us like we know each other. We grew up together, playing at each other facilities or whatever. King Center, all of that, like meeting up, kicking it. So I've been to Brandon them since I was a kid. They actually grew up. They house next door to my house.
Wow.
Yeah. So it was like they was doing their thing with the band and whatever. They all play instruments. They all are really super talented and dope at producers. So they used to see me, and it was like I was in passing because I was doing music with one of them. So I'm like, when I took time to actually go down there and listen to their basement and listen to some beats, I'm like, they really got it. They really talented. So long story fast. So I'm gonna just sum it up. Like Wavy entered into a producer contest.
Yeah.
From Milwaukee. It was like a Remy Martin producer contest with Wyclef being the judge of the contest or whatever. And,
exactly.
He finished second place behind. It was a cat from the South Side, DJ. Producer's name was like Payne. Well, it wasn't Payne.
DJ.
It was I can't think
Probably
of his name.
Payne 1, yeah, that's
DJ
the DJ
Kane.
slash producer.
Kane
It was Madison.
Kane 1, okay.
Shout out to Kane 1. He out there in L.A. with Business Boy now.
Yeah.
He landed a placement on Rick Ross album too.
Kane 1, super
Kane
dope.
1, yeah.
Super dope.
Shout out to him, but he won, and Wavy came in second place, but Wavy ended up
it seemed like
working with Wyclef.
Yeah.
And continuously working with Wyclef because Wyclef took a liking to Wavy.
Yeah.
And he's still working with him to this day. So, like me and Dub in the basement, me and Wavy Boy in the basement is like we making hits or whatever. We making placement records for different people. I'm writing for different artists or whatever. And we just was like, man, let's just shoot Wyclef a beat over with a hook on it and see if he bite.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like he was already getting beats from Wavy. So we shot a hook over there with the beat on it. And I remember this like yesterday. He called back like, man, who was the dude on the hook? He was like, that's my guy H1. He was like, man, he sound like a Zoe.
Yeah.
And I would try to put myself in my mind frame when I write. I try to write for other people. So I had to tap into my Caribbean bag or Jamaican bag or whatever.
Yeah.
And I made the song and I sounded like a real roster, like a Jamaican.
Yeah.
And he was like, man, we're going to keep you on the hook.
It's crazy because, well, today's generation, they don't understand when you say H1 a hook. Like back then, to have someone sing on the hook,
man.
And actually, the hook is the bread and butter other than the beat of the song.
Like, the beat is the driving force, but the hook catchy is gone.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
And I was taught that. You know what I mean? Like I always I was the biggest fan of Nate Dogg growing up.
Yeah.
CeeLo Green.
Mm-hmm.
And that's like everybody when they compare me to these people, it gave me chills because it's like I grew up and them was the two people that I really liked the most. You know what I mean? So,
that's what's up.
Yeah, like I said, what Clef said, we gonna fly y'all out to Jersey, and we gonna come out to my mansion, and we'll talk about things. So we flew out, went to Wyclef Mansion, Super Bowl weekend. We out there with the Giants, the president of Haiti, all of us. We in a mansion. Wyclef got the big mansion. He said, "Man, I'm gonna keep you on the song, bro." And I nailed a placement on his album, Carnival 3, his comeback album.
Let's go. Let's go.
And I think that's dope because I got a lot of features. I done paid for features. I've had joint features from other industry artists.
Yeah.
But how many people you could say have featured on a legendary industry artist album?
Yes.
Like I'm really on it. Like,
and but to your point though, you put in the work. Like you've done so much. You know what I'm saying?
He said you on everybody hook.
Man, I was shooting. Man, I was doing hooks for everybody. I mean, I done work with every Milwaukee artist there is.
Yeah.
Yep.
You know what I mean? From the majors to the L-Boogs.
To the Jazzies.
Yep.
Jazzies.
Yeah.
Man, some Jackie Downs, the Nitties. I done work with everybody. You know what I mean?
Yep.
You go on the same label as the Loonies and the Chops.
Yeah. I'm going to get to that. And then, but it was just like my situation with Waving them. It was like, you know what I mean? It was like a thing that made me. It was like a turning point in my career where I'm really learning the business line of the music industry. Because like Wyclef put us in a position to like really learn the industry for what it was. He was the first person that told us that the females was gonna take over.
Yeah,
he told us beforehand because we used to write placement records for artists. So we was writing for different artists, writing for Hulu and Netflix and all of this, like trying to land placements or whatever. And he kept telling us like, man, put the work into the females coming up. And he wasn't lying about that because like we see right now the Cardis of the world and the Sexy Reds, like they running the industry.
Shout out to the chat. DVJ73 said was just listening to that Carnival album by Wyclef. Slept on, no skips. R.I.P. John Forte. Yeah. That's a fire album. We got to go to break to pay some bills. Do not touch that dial. We got producer Don and H1 and Hook in the building, 101.7 The Truth.
Our children deserve a real chance to make it in life, and a good education is a passport to opportunity. At City Ford Collective, we're working to make sure there's a great Milwaukee school for every Milwaukee family, because more good options lead to better outcomes. And who doesn't want that? Together, we can give every child the foundation they need to thrive, and a stronger future for kids means a stronger future for Milwaukee. To learn more about our mission, visit us at cityfordcollective.org. That's cityfordcollective.org.
Denied VA benefits or Social Security disability? Hurt on the job or an auto accident? Tabak Law fights for people who deserve better. Veterans benefits, Social Security, personal injury, and workers' comp. They don't stop fighting until you get what you're owed. And you don't pay unless they win. Get Tabak for the payback. TabakAttorneys.com. That's TABAK attorneys.com.
When a warrior faces adversity, he fights through it. He finds a way. Freedom isn't free. Rolling strong. Belief. Believe you can, and you will.
Wheelchairs for Warriors provides mobility solutions to veterans and first responders injured in the line of duty. Join the mission and visit wheelchairsforwarriors.org.
Here's the deal. We gotta set ourselves up. See, retirement is the long game. We gotta make moves and make them early. Set up goals. Don't worry about a setback. Just save up and stack up to reach them. Let's put ourselves in the right position. Pre-game to greater things.
Start building your retirement plan at thisispretirement.org. Brought to you by AARP and the Ad Council.
For 75 years, the Muscular Dystrophy Association's voices have thundered through the halls of Congress.
For 75 years, we've willed the impossible into existence.
For 75 years, the MDA community has pushed the science,
shifted the narrative,
and established the field of neuromuscular medicine.
And until that day when this is all a thing of the past,
you couldn't stop us if you tried.
Join us and celebrate 75 years of breakthroughs at MDA75.org.
One on 1.7 The Truth. It's your girl Jazz Tyler Digi Meach. We are live and direct at the American Family Insurance Studio in the heart of beautiful downtown Milwaukee. Meach, it's Taco Tuesday.
Taco Tuesday. What's the word?
Taco Tuesday.
What's the word, Truth Nation? We still want to hear from y'all. We still got the topic going on. Do the youth wear their ski masks because they are insecure, or they hide from crimes or the ops or etc.? Tap in with us 833-212-1017. You know, we got special guests in the building. We were here with H1 the Hood.
What's the question of the day?
Wait.
So that question?
You can't skip.
Do the youth do the youth wear their ski masks because they're insecure or they hide from their ops?
Okay.
He's trying to skate past it. He's trying to skate
but
past
I want to answer that. I want to answer
answer
that.
too.
Y'all definitely gonna answer that. So, you Truth Nation 833-212-1017. Tap in with us. Like and subscribe on the YouTube channel. We got the poll going on there, so y'all can answer that. Vote for whatever y'all think y'all answer is. We're here with H1 the Hook. We got legendary producer Don the Jeweler in the building. Got a lot of hits under his belt.
Legendary.
You know what I mean?
Crazy.
Y'all, come on, man. You know how you know if they don't give you, they don't give it to you.
We gonna
you know
give it to you.
Thank you. I mean, you know,
I know what you did.
Anytime I get to sit down with the female goat.
Oh, don't gas me up.
Yeah, man. They don't know where it started at, Jazz. They don't know.
Everybody here gonna come gas Jazz.
Hey, when I was running my record label back in the day, when I was running Man Up, I used to be like, oh, that nigga Jazzy she cold.
Thank you.
A superhero, because superheroes are actually kind, strong people, and that's what all y'all guys are. I'm ecstatic to turn your show on every time I do it.
Absolutely. Thank you so much for calling in. We got to go to break to pay some bills. Do not touch that dial. 101.7 The Truth.
Don't let summer pass you by. Turn it all the way up at Summerfest. The music, the moments, the memories you'll replay all year long. Summerfest, presented by American Family Insurance, June 18th through July 4th. Get tickets now at summerfest.com.
Talking about guns with others might not always feel comfortable, but it could save a life. Here's a way to start a conversation. Your family is going over to your neighbor's home for dinner for the first time. How would you ask if there are any unlocked guns in the home?
Hey, we're so excited for tonight. Before we come over, though, may I ask if there are any unlocked guns in your home?
Our guns are stored securely, locked in a safe that the kids can't access.
Awesome.
Learn how to have the conversation at agreetoagree.org. Brought to you by the Ad Council.
Wherever there's a need in our communities, there's a United Way. Improving lives so everyone can thrive. Where more people can gain access to health care and nutritious food for their tables. Where more community members can benefit from financial education and get connected to local resources for housing support. And where children are given more chances to reach their full potential. Community is where we find our strength and where we share our hope. United is the way. Visit unitedway.org.
Are people around me safe when I vape? Science does not support that belief. Exhaled vape emissions linger in the air, affecting indoor air quality and bystanders in the same space through secondhand exposure. Vaping emissions can also accumulate on clothes, hair, dust, and furniture, leading to exposure risks to bystanders of all ages. And vaping around a pregnant person can lead to serious health impacts on fetal and childhood development. Enough with the puff. Learn more at ul.org/vaping.
My mom has decided to learn to paint, and she's good.
My dad's now into creative cuisine, and I've already put on 6 pounds.
Learning new things comes with age.
My mom, she started forgetting my name and what we're talking about.
Forgetting well-known things doesn't. Memory loss may be a sign of Alzheimer's disease. Early detection gives you and your loved one time to plan for the future. Learn the warning signs of Alzheimer's at 10signs.org. Brought to you by the Alzheimer's Association and the Ad Council.
Don't act like that. Don't wear that. Don't think that. I've heard everything you tell yourself every time you felt different. And I want you to know that you can be vulnerable and powerful. That taking care of your mind is taking care of everyone you love and who loves you. Love your mind. Find mental health resources at loveyourmindtoday.org. Brought to you by the Huntsman Mental Health Institute and the Ad Council.
.7 The Truth. It's your girl Jazz Tyler Digi Meech. We are live and direct. We got some special guests in the building. H1 a Hook.
Yeah.
Legendary producer. God. Listen, H1. Yeah. You grew up Highland Park, Waco. Went through what you went through. Managed to fly out to Haiti, work with Wycliffe. Came back home. And now you're also helping the youth as a football coach. Yeah. How did you get to that point, and how important is it for people who go out and bring their resources back? We talk about this all the time because I was saying earlier, I leave and I always find myself back home because I feel obligated and responsible to bring it's like survivor's guilt.
Right.
You know, you men to be out there, to take time out to sacrifice because what I hear you saying, H1, is that you dismissed ego, pride, everything based off of status. Yeah. And you took a chance by going out in the general public, getting resources, and those resources, that dollar may have actually saved a little boy from being in the streets.
Man,
you know what I'm saying? How important is that?
So I'll tell you the story I told H2, right? I played all 4 sports in high school. And played the saxophone. I was first chair All-State, so I had to be at all the city recitals. Yeah. And I never had anybody come to any of my games or recitals. Yep. Right. It built the arrogant Don that I was when I, in my 20s. Was that chip was built because
success, what it's like leaving home, having our resources, bringing it back. And one of the ways you both were able to bring it back and it's through your child, but just going out there, being involved in sports, coaching, just showing up. I really would like to see, based off your comment when you say you notice that majority of the people at the games or practice are women, are the mothers, right?
Right.
I would really, really love to see a community call where people just invite the community, the men in the community, just show up. Yeah. Because we all know what it feels like when no one shows up to your games. And to your point earlier, Don, which it goes back to what we were talking about earlier, why the youth walk around the way that they do with the chip on their shoulder, because it's like, none of y'all did nothing for me. Right. Nobody is there for me. I don't owe y'all nothing, not even a conversation, right? It's extremely important. So I think we need to figure that out. However we can support and get some people out to these games, I say let's do it. Yeah, let's do it.
OG 101.
Yeah.
Gotta let them know, you know what I mean? Or this perspective from a real OG and what that really looked like, you know what I mean? And really drop some jewels for like the youth or whatever. And I got a bunch of features from the youth, a lot of young artists on the album.
That's what's up.
And basically that and the football still going. Dad out there with the football kids and everything like that. And shout out to my boy Don the Jeweler. He co-producing executive producing the whole project.
Yeah. Let's go.
We've been working.
I got to get a beat.
At the new studio?
Yeah.
Let's go.
New studio done?
Don't tell them what the new studio at done.
10K3 Studios is on 99th and Carmen. We're in the process of doing construction right now. Me and my team bought the building. I'm very fortunate to be building a full multimedia studio.
Yes.
Studio A, Studio B, podcast studio, content room, 250 people live room.
Yes.
With the stage. I'm really going all out. So
yes, indeed.
Very proud of that.
Shout out to Sodi and Blackout Entertainment. Sodi up there doing big things.
Can't forget
took the reins of everything, and she been working real hard with a lot of artists. Y'all make sure y'all pay attention to what she doing. Yeah. She really been working real hard with artists, and y'all need to tap in if y'all haven't.
Yeah.
Yes, indeed. Thank y'all so much for stopping through. Make sure y'all tap in with us Monday through Friday, 4 p.m. to 7 p.m. Do not forget to like and subscribe on our YouTube channel. Happy Tuesday, Milwaukee. Y'all have a safe night. 101.7 The Truth.
Truth Night.